The latest season of Daredevil Born Again has released onto Disney+. We now have 6 seasons of Daredevil. 3 of the original Netflix show, 2 of Born Again, and 1 Defenders. Yes, I'm counting Defenders as Daredevil show because his plot in that show is so important to season 3. So the Defenders, very much a Daredevil show, so sue me. Before I dive into my ranking, if you would, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell. And my favorite part, comment down below. Tell me your ranking of all 6 seasons. If you only want to do the original show, fine. If you only want to do Born Again, well, there's only 2, so you can't. And if you want to do Defenders, well, there's only 1, so you also can't. So rank them however you want down below in the comment section. I would love to see all of your opinions. And with that said, number 6, last place, Daredevil Born Again Season 1. This is an incredibly frustrating season for me. So much of this I adored. I absolutely loved. Once we start getting into the back half of the season and it starts having that creative overhaul from what they were going to do the first time, which is just incredibly stupid, by the way. A Daredevil show without Foggy. Well, yeah, without Foggy pretty much. Or a Daredevil show without Karen, or a Daredevil show without Punisher, or even having Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio back to play completely different versions of the same characters. Dumb. I'm glad that they fixed that. But once we start getting into the creative overhaul with other directors in the back half, it gets really interesting. There's a lot of cool things here. What they do with Bullseye is really neat. The Punisher action sequences are pretty awesome. And it just ramps up the stakes to be edge of your seat show. And I think even the first half of the season is frustrating, yes, but it also has some really shining moments. I think the stuff with Muse is really cool. Seeing Daredevil or Matt not want to be Daredevil, but then slowly turn himself into Daredevil again. Great stuff. Of course, there's always like the mixed stuff that's from the different people who were making the show the first time that just doesn't feel right. The coloring, the lighting of the movie, or the show, sorry, doesn't look the best. But I enjoyed this season enough. And then we get the finale. And there are so many cool things in this finale. So many things to love. But by the time we get to the credits, it's very clear that this entire season did not have an end goal. Again, obviously, it had a completely separate idea. Then more different people came in to fix the show. But it didn't have an idea. It didn't have a focus here. The whole season was to set up season 2. And so when I watch a whole season with 9 episodes, each an hour long, that's 9 hours of my life. That's 9 videos that I recorded, because I did a review series for each episode. So that's 9 videos I recorded. 9, probably close to 50 hours I spent on Daredevil Born Again Season 1 out of my precious time, just to find out, oh, it's just a setup season. You're going to have to wait a year or two. You're going to have to wait a year till we get the real season. It pissed me off. It made me unbelievably mad that as soon as it ended, it just tainted my view on the entire season. Now, my view of the first season kind of got a little bit better after season 2. Now that I know that that arc has closed, and it closed in a pretty satisfying manner for the most part. Still, incredibly frustrating that I spent that entire season just to be a setup season. It's frustrating. Number 5, The Defenders. This is a season that should have been perfect. There's no excuse for why it wasn't perfect, and it just kind of fell subpar. It is a season of television that takes all of these characters that we met in all the other shows, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Elektra even, combines them together to have this big, ginormous Avengers-level threat for them, Defenders-level threat, I guess, in the hand, closing out arcs from Daredevil Season 2 and seasons of these characters' other shows. And for the most part, I love the chemistry between everybody here, especially like Mike Coulter as Luke Cage, Kirsten Ritter as Jessica Jones, and then obviously Charlie Cox as Daredevil. Those were the big standouts to me. Luke Cage, he's not necessarily my favorite character in the show. What they do with his arc, I wasn't that big of a fan of, but he's fine in here. So the chemistry works. There are some really cool action sequences, especially fighting the Hand. It's street level heroes fighting ninjas, so it's kind of hard not to have a little bit of fun with it. So plenty of stuff in the Defenders to just really enjoy. But overall, this one is one that is just incredibly underwhelming. First of all, there is, I believe, 6 episodes of the season, 6 or 8, somewhere around there. In the other Netflix Marvel shows, there are 12 episodes, 12 or 13, somewhere around there too. That's a lot more episodes than the Defenders had. So what the Defenders did as a season was combine all of these characters, give them their biggest threat yet, set up numerous other seasons of other shows, and it's the shortest season out of all of the Netflix Marvel seasons by far. In the words of Tony Stark, not a great plan. So overall, it just feels underwhelming from that aspect. But then, like, the pacing is really rough, again, because the show is so short that you just have, like, constant action sequences here and there. And sometimes you don't feel the weight out of them. There is some really awful CGI and green screen in this season. I just didn't really feel the weight of it like I should have. It's a show, like, again, that is taking all these characters and giving them their own Avengers level threat. That's the biggest threat that any of these heroes have ever faced. And it sets up Daredevil Season 3, which is much higher on this list. And I just don't feel the emotional impact. It didn't quite work all of that well for me because I don't know what went wrong here. I don't know why we couldn't have had a longer season, but it just feels rushed and just kind of shoved out on Netflix, or I guess Disney Plus now because they're not on Netflix anymore, but it didn't quite work for me and it is incredibly frustrating. Number 4, Daredevil Born Again Season 2. The first half of the season I did not like. There's plenty of cool things to like. The prison escape sequence is quite fun. The Daredevil Bullseye, or pretty much anything Bullseye's in, is quite exciting. But I was very frustrated. I was like, I'm just not connecting with it. At the surface level, I just didn't connect with anything that happened. So it was a very frustrating season to watch, and there were points that I was like, is it really worth finishing the rest of the season to get out a review to you guys? Is it really worth it? I love you guys, the people that watch me, but is it really worth it? I finished out the season, and I am incredibly glad I did. As soon as we get to episode 5, it puts a little bit of humanity in with these characters, where Kingpin, this entire show, Born Again, not the original Daredevil. The original Daredevil, he's very, very much better character. But in Born Again, he's just a cartoon villain. Oh, I want to stop the vigilantes, and I'm going to do whatever I want in New York, and I'm going to have a boxing match, and the people of New York are going to allow that for me to kill a guy on a public stage. That's a little insane, but I want to kill all the vigilantes, or put them in camps, but I'm actually going to kill them. He's a cartoon character, but they put humanity in him with the loss of Vanessa Fisk, and it is quite emotional, brought a tear to my eye, and really put him out as good of a character as he was in that original Daredevil show. And then, of course, you get the final 3 episodes where he's just going insane and the stakes ramp up really high. In episodes 6 and 7, I'm sorry. In episodes 6 and 7, the stakes are really high, the intensity is all there, and the season finale left a lot to think about for me. Like, I filmed my review instantly after, and I kind of wish that I waited a couple hours so I could have full-on thoughts on it, because it's kind of all over the place there, because I was mostly positive on the finale, and I still am. I think the courtroom stuff where Daredevil, or Matt, reveals himself to be Daredevil to try to put Kingpin down, they stop Kingpin in the courtroom, I think all that's great. I even think, like, when Kingpin opens the door and just starts beating up all the people, that's really good. It's a very cool finale that has grown on me the last couple of days, but I think that what they do with Kingpin in that finale is a little bit dumb, where he gets out and he just, like, they offer him a plea deal. He's like, screw that, I'm gonna go kill everybody. So he goes out and he kills like 20 people, and then Daredevil still offers him the plea deal. That's not how it works. He's a lawyer. That's not how the legal system works. It's stupid. I wasn't satisfied, and it left me being like, I want to watch season 3. I want to see what happens next. So the thing that this season did the best is make me excited for season 3, where in season 1, I was not excited for season 2 because I was just so frustrated with season 1. I am now excited for season 3 and very curious to see what happens. And I do firmly believe that we're going to get Daredevil in Spider-Man Brand New Day as well. I'm going to put out a TikTok here in the coming days about my theories for Brand New Day. Go follow my TikTok, Zach D Films 2005. That's the year I was born. I'm 20 years old, which means I'm Unk now. In case you can't tell, my top 3 is going to be all the original Daredevil show. So before I give you my ranking of the original Daredevil show, again, subscribe, comment down below. What is your ranking of all of these seasons? We'll love to know all that and more. Number 3, Daredevil, the original, season 1. This is a season that is pretty frustrating for me because I think the first 4 or 5 episodes, phenomenal stuff. The final 4 episodes, phenomenal stuff. But that's only 9 episodes. We got 3 or 4 episodes in between there that completely lost me. It comes a time where I was watching the show, and then we get to the middle of the season, and I just got lost. I was like, I'm really not invested in it. And the reason is, it just feels repetitive. Like, the season was, Kingpin has control of something, Matt takes something down, Kingpin rises back up, kills a guy. That was the entire season. And it started to feel a little bit repetitive toward me, so I took a month hiatus off from the season, and then after that, I was like, I gotta finish this season. So I watched the next 2 episodes, which were kind of repetitive again, but then slowly we enter the back half of the season, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm invested again. The positives are high. The highs are really high. The season's about Matt, the lawyer, the Catholic, becoming Daredevil, becoming somebody who is a vigilante, who is defying the law and doing bad things to do what's right, and a character study about him, and all that's really interesting. And then, of course, the action sequences in the season are phenomenal. Specifically, like that hallway sequence in episode 2 of the show. Just a great sequence to get you set up for what's to come within this entire show. And then the back half, as we finally start to stop Kingpin, is pretty awesome. You get the stuff with Ben Urich and the stuff with Karen Page and Wesley. Some great stuff. And then you get the very satisfying finale. That's a little bit more of a superhero finale, final boss fight with Kingpin, but very satisfying. And the way that the season ended, the way that it was left off, I personally felt very satisfied with. So, despite some repetitive things, the highs of this season are incredibly high. My runner-up for Best Daredevil Season is Daredevil Season 2. And the only reason for that is because of this guy right here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The Punisher, baby. John Bernthal, the Punisher. If this entire season was... Oh, I just dropped Mario. Oh no! If this entire season was about the Punisher and him fighting Daredevil and debating whether they should kill the criminals, because in that famous line, Daredevil hits them, they get back up. Punisher hits them, they stay down. That whole debate about if it's okay to kill the people who deserve it, fantastic stuff. Obviously, John Bernthal's performance is absolutely phenomenal. Yes, you could say he's playing the same character that he does all the time. I don't care. Highly disagree. John Bernthal is awesome as this character, and I cannot wait for the special presentation Tuesday. But you also have some really cool fight sequences and just that overall theme. But that's just the first half of the season, unfortunately, and the stuff with the hand is much weaker. I still enjoyed it. I know a lot of people don't like it at all. I still personally enjoyed the stuff with the hand. The romance between Matt and Elektra is alright. It's not the most compelling stuff, but the ninja fight sequences are cool. Even though they did, again, start to feel very repetitive. They go to a place, the hand has it under control, they fight the hand. It felt like a video game, honestly. And it's not as strong, but then you head to the finale, which is really cool. The stuff with the Punisher, again, in the finale, is great. So, while I wasn't the biggest fan of the hand stuff, I liked it more than a lot of other people, and the stuff with the Punisher definitely outweighs the bad for me. That's enough to just put this in the runner-up spot. But easily, and it's really not close in the slightest, as my number one is Daredevil Season 3. This season is the best, if not the best season of superhero television ever. It's awesome. It's a show that the first 2 seasons, I was like, yeah, I like it. I'm not as high on it as other people. Then I watched Season 3, and I'm like, oh, yeah, baby, this is awesome. I loved it. It's phenomenal stuff. It's kind of a satisfying ending to the show. It's very clear. It's very clear to me that it did not plan, they did not plan on it being the final season of the show, but at its surface, it's very satisfying, and at its core, it's just the fight between Daredevil and Kingpin. Obviously, it takes place after the Defenders, where Matt is struggling to become Daredevil, so you have that personal battle on his, or inside of him, where you're trying to decide, or where he's trying to decide if he should be Daredevil, and the consequences that come with that is very satisfying. He is much more brutal than he is in any of the other seasons, so you have some phenomenal action set pieces, some at a prison. There's just some peak action sequences in this entire season. You get the introduction of Bullseye, who is just absolutely phenomenal. Wilson Bethel is insane in this role, and the big standout, and very clearly to me, a top 10 comic book movie villain. So he's just awesome in the season, and what they do with his character arcs, diving into his past, awesome stuff. You even get side characters like Agent Nadeem, who I just love in this role. And again, just like Ben Urich in season 1, when he meets his fate, it is very emotional. And then the personal stuff with Matt and Karen, Matt, Foggy, Karen, all of that stuff is great. And then it just leads to a very satisfying finale where you finally see Kingpin get taken down. I beat you. Great stuff. Like, peak television right there. And instantly made me be like, I want to watch season 4. And of course, we never got a season 4. We got Born Again, which just never compared to the highs of the show, which are very high highs. I love season 3 of Daredevil. It's by far the best season out of all 6 of these. And I actually, I'm in the mood to rewatch season 3. So that was my ranking of all of the seasons of Daredevil. Tell me in the comment section, what is your ranking? Mortal Kombat 2 review coming very soon. With that said, subscribe.